What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, Shakira, the director. And guys, welcome to the Directing Through Life podcast. And I have an amazing... First of all, guys, I actually looked up to this guy growing up, like 2016, 2K. I was watching his pranks with Jasmine. I was doing all of that. And now I have him here in the studio with me. Oh my God, Pretty Boy Fredo. Round of applause in the studio for Pretty Boy Fredo, man. Yeah.
What an amazing intro, Shakira. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
You know what I'm saying? Giving me the opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to be on your pod. I've never done an interview before, so I'm excited for this. And I was like, I got to do it with her. Like, she's awesome. So I'm happy to be here.
Oh my God, I'm honored. I'm actually honored. Like, this is amazing. Yeah. So I actually want to direct through your life. It's called Directing Through Life podcast. So I want to direct through your life, see your trials, tribulations, your successes, your downfalls, and inspire others who look up to you, and not only look up to you, but people who probably even don't know who you are and live under a rock and need to know your story. Yeah. Now, I know you grew up, you were born and raised in Orlando?
No, not
Where
at all.
Was you born?
I was actually born and raised in South Florida. So I'm actually from this area. I'm actually from, do you know what, like, Belglade and South Bay and like?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm from the muck. Like, they call that the muck. Like, that's the hood, like the struggle, like the trenches, you know what I'm saying? But that's where I'm from. I was actually, my dad was an immigrant from Costa Rica. My mom, unfortunately, she was a drug addict. So I grew up in foster care. I was in foster care till I was like 11 years old. And then once I turned like 12, I was adopted, and that's when I moved to Orlando. So.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Some but I know, I remember I saw your documentary, and you said that you had a sister with you as well. Yeah. Were you able to stay with her during that time when you were adopted? Yeah,
so my sister actually was supposed to get adopted with me, but she actually chose not to get adopted. So like when the process was going on for me to get adopted, she was, with me. And then ultimately by the end, she chose not to get adopted. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was always like in constant communication with my sister, but just chose different paths at the end of the day.
Was that hard? Like, because obviously you go through the struggles together, and when you're in foster care, like you obviously don't celebrate birthdays, holidays, Christmases. Like you don't get the regular childhood that every child gets growing up. Yeah. So how is it like being separated from someone that you grew up with and like was born and raised with, your blood? Like,
yeah, I mean, it was hard because, growing up as a foster kid, you're left with a lot of unanswered questions, and you don't experience like real love and real parents, like it wasn't until I got adopted that I experienced, people that actually cared about me, people that loved me, people that wanted better for me. Before then, it was hard. Like you're just in this world, you don't really know you don't know why. You just know your circumstance, but you don't know why you're in this circumstance. You don't know why life is like that. And it's not until you get older and you grow through these, these pains and these processes that stuff starts to make sense. And then it's a whole nother battle from there,
And obviously, because you're so young, like, did you know you were going through like any like sort of like trauma or depression or anxiety or anything?
I didn't like.
Or was you able to cope with it?
Yeah, like, I was as a kid. I was really able to like mask it with like just being a kid, like playing football, being out with friends. But like there's times that it hits you and it becomes real when you realize like, damn, I don't have my biological mom or dad. I don't have my sister. I don't have my family. I don't have nothing. Like for instance, like. Shit, you get like awards when you're like a kid, right?
Yeah.
And you look out in the crowd and you have no one there. There was plenty of times growing up I had that, like whether it was like me playing football and I'm getting trophies or I'm making academic scholars and shit like that, and I'm looking out and there's nobody there to support me. So, those are the times and the moments that it hits the most. But when you're a kid, for the most part, like you're just living life, as a kid, and it doesn't get too, I was never that deep, at least, like, to really dig deep. Not until I got older, honestly. Yeah.
What age do you say that you really like dug deep into it? Like,
I would say, it honestly, like, even after I got adopted, I wasn't like, I didn't really think about it. I was just kind of just going through the process of life because like, you're so young, like it's not, I don't know, it's just not, it just didn't hit me like that until I got older, until I started to want to put the pieces together. I guess it's because like I never cared enough to put the pieces together. Like if you grow up without a mom or a dad, you don't have those feelings and love for those people because you never met them. So it wasn't until I got older and I was about to have my own, my own child that I started to like want to put those pieces together, you know?
Now, I know your foster parents are white.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So how is that? Obviously, a lot of people would judge like certain things and
It's
like the
just-
stereotypes and things like that. But from your experience, what was it like growing up
Man.
in like a household like that?
Yeah, so like the thing about my parents was that, I was their only child. So they didn't have any other kids. So it was like their first time being a parent as well. So like just imagine you're adopting this like 12-year-old ghetto kid, like stuck in their ways. Like everything was different. Like my dialect was different. The way I thought, the way I did everything was just different. And they're learning how to be parents for the first time with like a full grown, damn near a full grown fucking man. So like it definitely was some like getting used to. And then also there was that color boundary and the understandings of like culture, you know what I'm saying? Like they didn't grow up with like black people or like have heavy influence with like, African Americans. So it definitely took some getting used to, you know? So it was
Obviously, the parent-teacher conference was probably a bit awkward.
yeah, man. It was funny because like when I grew up, like as a kid, I actually used to lie. So I used to tell people because I am part Spanish. So I would say that my dad was Spanish and then my mom was like my stepmom. So like my adoptive mom was my stepmom. And it used to hurt her so bad. But like I grew up getting bullied just for being a foster kid. So like I didn't want to experience, more bullying. Like, you know how kids are. Kids are just kids. So
I was bullied.
I just kind of just lied about it and kind of got past like through that. So, I'm sorry. I love my parents so much and I'm so appreciative of them. But like at that time, like as a kid, like you just want to live life and not just be judged by, your situation, Yeah.